Welcome back. Welcome back. Oz is in the house with me today.
And you know what that means.
Yeah.
Does it
we're
doom,
doing
Lee?
jazz. Does it doom, right? So, I mean, it does, right? So we've answered that question.
Yeah.
Oz introduced me to a lovely chap at the NAMM show who owns the Does It Doom brand.
Steve.
Make pedals and guitars aimed at, I guess, inspiring that sort of genre of player.
People like me.
Yeah, so there won't be many guitar players on the planet that won't have heard a Sabbath riff at some point or other.
Sure.
And so, you know, if you imagine that's your kind of the godfathers of that kind of genre. But does it doom? Is that the genre's got heavier, right? And
Very
these
much.
pedals are sort of catering for...
As all metal, a lot of music, there's a lot of splinter off genres and all that stuff. So, like I say, Sabbath are the granddads of doom,
Yeah.
and then everything beyond that is wide spectrum of different sounding bands.
And we've got a couple of pedals here that are relatively conventional in that you would just plug them into the front of a guitar amplifier.
Sure.
And that's what you heard at the beginning of this clip. And then we've got 5 pedals here that are more...
Appropriate, maybe, to put into you.
To go into the effects return of an amplifier or straight into a power amp of some sort, because these have got sort of flavours of amp synonymous, I guess, with that genre as
Yes,
well.
but to make it clear, you can put these in the front of the amp. I just thought because there's an preamp in there, like you say, it may be more appropriate to just put it in the effects return. But by no means can you not plug these into the front of your amp. And they're also all specifically designed to be good with guitar and bass as well. So, you know.
So look, let's get on with it. Feel free to comment as we go along here. I mean, some of the graphics and some of the imagery surrounding this is bound to kick off some comments, I imagine. But I'm just going to keep it to the tone that we're hearing and kind of how it makes me feel as a guitar player that's not super familiar with that genre. I'm loving some of the crazy drop tuning. But look, come on, let's start here. So what's the first one?
Right, this is the Elder God. I wanted to go first with this because it needs a bit of a specific shout out to the band. So this is designed by Chris Cousins, however you say his last name, from the band Slamatics. Now, Chris actually messaged me when we were at NAMM saying, hey, Steve from Does It Doom is at the NAMM show. Can you go and see him? So went to go and see him, and now we're here with all Steve's pedals in front of us. So
cool.
Chris definitely deserves a shout out. But what this is just a fuzz, volume fuzz. But then this splits between a silicon fuzz face and a V7 green Russian big muff, which is low passed. So it's basically you get bright, sparkly kind of 60s more fuzz, and then as you roll it in, it gets the thickness come back.
All right, and we've elected to use, I mean, again, I'm amazed. I didn't think Oz would want to use this. I mean, there are amp brands that are sort of synonymous with the Doom thing, whether we go down the Laney route or even something like the Orange or whatever. But Oz was like, no, you put this on its low gain channel 1 setting, so we'll give you what does that sound like? You know, lots of reverb, which is a win from me. So that's a 50 watt valve amplifier, EL34 valve amplifier going into the 212 with the Celestion Vintage 30s underneath it.
Yes.
So,
I mean, if we had a Model T in here, maybe I'd be using that, but we don't. So there we go. But that, I think
I'll get 5 of those and
we'll plug them into each other.
Yeah.
Wicked.
All right, cool. So that's your baseline sound. Shall we go?
If you want. I'll tell you what, I should use that guitar.
Okay.
That's why we got this guitar.
So this is the Rev Star with the P90s, and this is in normal tuning, except the bottom E is tuned an octave below the A.
Yeah, which is what they do.
And it's still got like a 42 gauge or a 46 gauge string on it. It's pretty loose.
So they would typically do this in like C sharp and then drop it down
Holy
like that.
mother of moly.
Yes. Go for it.
I kind of like the fact that they've called the volume control battle.
Yes.
So you're going into battle, so you need maximum volume. Fuzz is on this side. And I think it's actually quite a clever feature because I do often find a very high gain big muff does go a bit like that. So being able to dial it more towards the fuzz face size to get that sort of brightness in does give it, it's a bit easier to hear in a mix. Right?
And that is a common theme along a lot of these pedals. There is more than one thing usually, or usually more than two things kind of all in each pedal. So you can usually find a balance of tones that you like.
Yeah, all right. Happy days.
Yes.
Links are below if you want to see these. And by the way as well, hopefully there will be some timestamps underneath this video.
Yeah.
So if you just want to hear one of these ones over here, check below and you can fast forward.
Yeah. Listen to Slamatics, they're sick.
Yeah, cool. All right, next one.
Sabbathini. Oh wait, Sabbathi.
Sabbathi. I mean, is that an adjective? It's a bit Sabbathy.
Yeah, I'm assuming it came from that, right? I mean, I feel like it has to have come from that. Sabbathi is what you might think is a Black Sabbath pedal, but this is an Electric Wizard pedal. So this is a one knob version of a Boss Hyperfuzz. So
Okay.
FZ2, so iconic Electric Wizard pedal, typically used with a JCM 800 and an SG held by Just O'Born. Always reminds me of like a chainsaw. I don't know why, it's like a really, the FZ2 is the pedal I wish would be reissued by Boss.
Okay.
But
That,
highly
didn't they do
sought
that
after.
as like a limited Wazza thing?
No,
not that long ago?
never
done
been a
it.
thing. Never been a
So
thing.
that's why that little Behringer is so popular.
Yes.
It's like the closest thing you can get to it
Closest
for
thing.
20 quid or whatever. We do have a slightly gainier channel on this if you want to hear sort of like what it might sound layered over, or you're happy that it's...
No, I'm
okay.
happy. I feel
Cool.
like if you get too much gain from the amp, fuzzes just tend to sound worse. I think you want either a clean amp to absolutely ram the clean amp, but I don't want to definitely
Do you know, that's one of the things I love about the guitar world is I remember interviewing Chris Robertson from Blackstone Cherry, who got the most killer guitar sound by having maximum gain on the amplifier and maximum gain on the fuzz pedal at the same time. And I've had other people where the best sound is, fuzz with all the volume rolled down. And, it's like, there's no rights and wrongs here, ladies and gentlemen. You just get a sound, and if you like it, it's winning.
So this is going to be pure Electric Wizard tone.
Okay.
I love that thing.
It is great. I mean, I think what I don't know how much of the, how much of a desire I've got to go and start listening to these albums. Which is fine. Although Sabbath, I would say 100%, I'm sort of late to the Sabbath party, but I get it. But what I do really like about this is that it does, and it's all down to the volume and the drop tuning and the amount of fuzz and gain from the pedal. Single notes and two notes take on these it really,
much more
really,
role.
Yeah, and it really brings out that sort of weird modulation or intermodulation sound that you get where you're hearing all the different harmonics of the oscillation and it almost like without this style of gain pedal, you wouldn't really get that. In fact, let me just turn some stuff down in here. Speaking of chip. About a month ago, I listened to this great big podcast about Black Sabbath and how it started and how it influenced all the bands that have come out of Birmingham and just generally how it's influenced metal. If I've got this story right, and what an amazing thing, Tony Iommi had handed his notice in, or whatever the equivalent of that was at the factory he worked at.
That day.
And on his final shift, he got asked to cover for someone and use a machine that he'd never used before. Yeah. And that was when he cut his finger off.
Yeah, last day.
Literally
last day.
So you go in another world, in 99.9% of alternate realities, he finished his shift and Black Sabbath had a guitar player that had, the tip of his finger.
And wanted to play differently and... Who knows?
It's such a weird...
I know, it's crazy. And do you know who inspired him to come back into guitar?
No.
Django Reinhardt.
That's right. Yeah.
So without Django Reinhardt, there might not be any Doom in the world. So there you go. That's crazy.
What a strange
I know.
web of music. All right, I just wanted to hear what this Sabbathy thing does with the fuzz high and low and all that kind of stuff.
Let's do it.
Here we go, down at the bottom end.
That might be just volume.
So it's just like a volume, really,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah, not much point of this bit, is there?
No, you crank it and you leave it and you're done.
All right, well look, we are just going to take a second just to plug this round differently. As Oz said, you could plug all these into the front end if you want, but we're just going to go straight into the power amp. All the gain that you hear now is going to be coming from the pedals. So let's go.
Good way to start.
There's a lot of bass end in here. If you're listening to this on your iPhone, you're capturing about 1% of what's happening.
Yeah.
Wow, literally, I think something fell off a shelf during
I heard
that.
something.
Might need to call the building inspector. My innards got rearranged as well. So what is this pedal called and what's it doing?
This is the Aghartha. The band this is inspired by is Sun.
Oh, right, okay.
So that'll be why I'm playing 1 note per minute.
Right.
This is based off a first gen 70s Model T preamp.
Yeah.
And then it blends in a Proco Rat.
I can see why you wanted to do it through the effects return now. Mm-hmm. And this is actually quite cool. So if you just play without the pedal, this is essentially what I guess any guitar amp, any valve guitar amplifier where you just plug into the
just
power amp.
Yeah, yeah.
Tone rolled down or
no,
not?
It's all up.
It's surprising actually. You take the preamp away from a guitar amplifier and the natural sound of a guitar is quite dark, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, with this all the way down but switched on, it does bring in that preamp characteristic of an amp, and you can sort of...
They say it's a painstaking JFET recreation of a Model T, so... Immediately a bit more crunch.
What, something's
rattling. I think it's
going to fall off the wall over here.
Something's resonating bad. In the grim.
This is a rat coming in, is it? Okay. Yeah, I do love the fact that basically it's just got a grim control. So here we go. Let's. I'm intrigued that you stay on the neck pickup because it sounds, again, I don't know the genre, but it sounds very dark and sludgy in a way
that's kind of what
that's
it's
what
meant
you
to be.
want. Okay,
yeah,
fine.
so especially for the Sun, the band. I mean, it is just a cacophonous wall of bass.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I mean, I don't think that that cabinet is just like, that has never had to do bass end like that before, which is crazy that it even can.
What this needs, we need 8 stacks, and we need wizard costumes, and then that's what it needs.
I mean, we're pretty loud in here, but even at this volume, it still feels like we're missing the magic 1% ingredient to really make this music sound like that band, right?
You need tons of amps.
Tons of amps.
Stereo.
Can I just hear it on its bridge?
Very dark.
Yeah, I really like the concept of that pedal. Have you ever? I'm just trying to think. If there'll be people in our, watching this now who'll be into this genre of music, but maybe they've got like a Boss Katana or something like that. Is it possible to try and get this vibe of sound, or would you almost just go, look, man, you just need to just go get on eBay or?
You're better off with a cheap tube amp than you are with an expensive solid state amp. I definitely say that. I think as long as you have, I'll say if you've got an effects return and some tubes in it, you're going to be better off than you are just plugging into the front end of a Katana. But like I said, it's the same as any other distortion pedal. If you want to just absolutely overload the front end of your solid state Katana, it's still going to sound sludgy. It's still going to sound whatever. Alrighty,
so that's the Aghartha. Aghartha Christie was a famous doom bandist, wrote a killer 39 steps doom tune once. Right. Okay, next pedal in is...
Power.
It's Bauer first, is it? Bauer Power.
Yes.
Not Bauer.
No. Jimmy Bauer is in a band called I Hate God.
Okay, that's EYE, which makes it slightly less offensive.
Yes. When you read the words on the knobs, maybe that'll go away.
Abuse. volume and tone. Suffering and abuse up here, conventional volume and tone down here.
Yes.
Fine.
Jimmy Bauer is the guitar. He's the guitarist in I Hate God. He's also the drummer in Down and a couple of other things. But Steve from Does It Doom, Jimmy Bauer is his god.
Okay.
So I have to admit, I Hate God were a band that kind of passed me by a lot, so I don't actually know too much Jimmy Bauer, but I do recognise that he is very, very influential.
Now, interestingly, we had that little, valve amp versus Boss Katana kind of conversation here, we're potentially flipping that on our head as Jimmy Bauer. It has a collection of old solid state Randalls.
Yes, he plays Randalls.
And this, now obviously, most people, I guess, if you're a guitar player, will associate Dimebag with the Randall thing. So it is possible to get massive gainy sounds.
Yes.
I don't actually think necessarily the observation we made about Katana with this pedal versus valve isn't a solid state valve thing.
No.
It's just what you need is lots of volume and headroom.
Yeah,
right? and you can get that with like 100 or a 200 watt Randall. For sure.
Oh yeah, it's like a lot of these pedals, especially as we get down later, they run at 36 volt internal. So the whole point is to have that clean, open JFET thing.
Interesting.
Yeah,
and then actually you might find that with like a 10 watt valve amplifier or a 20 watt, that's almost the worst thing because you've got no headroom. On those kinds of things.
Exactly.
Anyway, fine.
Exactly.
Sorry.
So
let's have a little listen.
Well, what this is based on, we have an SD1. So it's a Randall.
So the Suffering is an SD1, is it?
Yeah, Suffering is an SD1 gain.
So that's the super overdrive from Boss.
Yep, and the Abuse is the Randall gain. Okay. So you can blend the Suffering and Abuse. Look, Doom's full of this kind of stuff. It's what
great.
It is.
I think, to be honest with you, I'm just going to say, my experience of this is that, and this is, to be honest with you, I think when I was younger, this was probably the whole thing that maybe put me off of the Sabbath thing. Not that I'm a religious guy or anything like that, but it looks quite intimidating.
It's a bit scary.
And you meet a guy like Steve from Does It Doom, and it's like the
chillest guy you've ever met.
Yeah, but it's like you sort of like, it looks like he's going to be like hardcore, and then it's a very warm. It's just I think
Everyone's
it's almost
so
like
chill.
isn't it all just like Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah.
It's just a bit of fun.
It's a bit of fun in it. Of course.
I think everyone's got to just not take this all too seriously. It's all part of the visual of the genre. It's not about
Yeah, Doom guys are the nicest guys you meet. They're all chilled out.
People.
Steve's just a wizard. Man.
Come on, let's turn it on. So just turn it on.
Yeah. Very mid-range.
Wow, it's super honky.
Yeah.
And actually not as gainy as I thought.
No.
I wonder if actually you could get away with using that into the front end of an amplifier. With
Maybe
a bit more,
it'd be better in the front end. You know what I mean? I'll say again, I put it into the return because of the Randall
thing. Yeah. I mean, wow, it's super mid-rangey, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, there's enough suffering and abuse in the world at the moment.
Also,
so
I have to say, we will show something. Go on. Probably at the end, but these are all hand signed by Jimmy Barrow on the side. So
cool.
This has got a signature on the side.
We'll show you there. Flip it on its side, and you'll see. Oh, we've stuck these to the... This is not Oz being terribly weak.
There you go.
There it is. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, there we go, Jimmy Barrow fans. You now know what to ask for Christmas.
Walpurgis.
Walpurgis. Is that a band or a...
No.
No? It's just
I think Walpurgis is the... what is it? It's like the... it's the witch's Sabbath.
Okay.
So you might, by the design, be able to know this is absolutely a Black Sabbath pedal.
Okay, cool. Lots of knobs on here. So bass, middle, treble, present. So there's an amp.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think
you'd be able to guess what pedal and amp this is a mix of? Is it Tony Iommi?
Yeah, so it's a Laney and sort of like some sort of treble boost thing, is
absolutely.
it?
It's a Dallas Rangemaster into a Laney supergroup.
Fine.
These are popular as hell. It also includes the bass input, the treble input, and a mixed, like a jumped input as well. So famously, Iommi used the bass input and Giza Butler used the treble input, which is how they got that sound, you know what I mean? So then you dial in the Rangemaster with the ritual and range, which is the focus frequency of the Dallas Rangemaster and the amount it's mixed in. Obviously, you can turn the range off and you just get pure Laney supergroup.
Tony Iommi wasn't a big drop tuner though, was he?
Well, he played super light gauge strings, and they kind of played in like D flat, C sharp.
So you would get that sort of bloomy oscillation vibe.
He played the lightest strings he could because of his fingers. Yeah. So that kind of oscillaty, super thin. Like, that's why every single chord was vibratoed and all that. He's super thin.
All right.
But yeah, most of these. So we got this. You got bass, mid, treble, presence for the Laney supergroup, volume, gain, and so this is all Laney supergroup, and then the ritual and range is just for the Rangemaster. You blend it in, and then you get the kind of added on top.
I like it.
So for Iommi, I'm going to flick it to the right, so we're in the bass setting. We're going to turn it on, and hopefully we get some Laney supergroup stuff. I know I appreciate that I'm in a really low tuning, way too low for Sabbath, but whatever. Too low.
Come on, we must have a guitar in normal concert tuning here. Otherwise, it's ridiculous.
Yamaha.
And even if it's not an SG, it doesn't matter.
No, that's fine. This is the Yamaha. It's way too low. It's way too low.
It's insulting to Sabbath fans. I think that's the wrong word, but you know what I mean.
And then we blend in the ritual and arrange.
That's still tuned down to A there. It is.
good, man.
My God, I nearly swore. It's so fat.
That's wicked.
I'm glad we've got Pete doing literally the levels on the audio. It's like, because this is loud.
That sounds pretty authentic, man. I love how it sounds.
It does sound like it wants to be drop tuned a bit, doesn't it? But just not a lot. But that does sound. And of course, he would be using humbuckers rather.
If you
than
had super thin strings, honestly, I think you'd be getting pretty close. I can't believe how close that sounds. It's pretty cool.
And this is, you say this is the bass side of the
input,
old
it's the bass
Laney amp.
Yeah.
So if we went to the treble side, is that very thin?
Yeah. So this will be mainly used for the Giza bass tone as well.
I was expecting it to go more like a Marshall does when you go into the treble side, where it's like super thin, but it's actually not that different to the bass side.
I can hear it in the harmonics. If you play those high power chords, you can kind of hear it, I think. Awesome. That sounds really good.
It is one of my
classic rock
It
tone.
is one of my biggest musical regrets of the last 3 or 4 years that I didn't get into Sabbath earlier, because it's just
those first 4 albums are just perfect. I love them, man.
It is, whether it's well worth, and it's not as, I think that's another example again of the image of the band.
Yeah.
And the mythology around it all is intimidating. And when you get into it, you realise actually some of the songs they're not mainstream, but the songs are much more accessible than maybe the image of the genre
would suggest.
Anyway.
For sure.
Anyway, wowzers. That's a good sounding pedal.
That's awesome. I'm really surprised at how accurately it does the Laney thing. It sounds way closer than I thought it would.
Before we do this, one of the problems as such, one of the issues with obviously getting that sound is you just need crazy volume on the actual Laney. So let's just see, can we get that sound?
But quiet.
That's a great reason to buy that pedal. It does 99% of the vibe of that sound at whatever volume level that you want it to be.
Cool. Wow.
All right. Okay. That was fun.
Wicked.
If you're enjoying this genre as well, Oz and Taylor are going to do a little 2-piece jam at some point in the studio using a selection of these pedals and in this style.
Yes.
So like and subscribe or unsubscribe if that's not your thing. But yes, we'll see that soon. I'm excited about that. But anyway, tell me about the Baghdad. This
is Matt Pike. We're getting into sleep territory now for these last 2 pedals. But this is Matt Pike is early era in High on Fire. So this is interesting because this is 2 amps put together. So this is a Soldano SP77 preamp going into a Matt Amp Green GT120.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that's niche, isn't it? There's not going to be any other pedals that you can buy that's doing that combination.
That's a weird one. So Matt famously used to use a rack, basically. So he used to have his Soldano and he'd use that as the preamp going into the Matt Amp. And that was his thing. So if I understand correctly, if you turn this drive down here, you hear pure Soldano SP77. And as you bring in the drive, that will raise the drive of the GT120 and bring back that rumble.
Right, let's give it a listen, Mr. Oz.
Cool. So the gain will be SP77 and the drive will be the Matt Amp. Right.
Got it.
Cool. favourite so far. The chaos that happened in this room.
Is that what fell off and hit the mic stand?
Yeah.
Was it? Amazing.
Mate, that sounds wicked!
So what this is a great example of is preamp gain versus power amp drive.
Yeah.
And what you hear as you turn this drive control up is the girth of the sound just goes into another level.
Yeah. So again, that's the point. So you can find that balance. So you have that kind of cutting Soldano preamp metal-y, a bit more modern metal. And as you bring the mat amp in, it brings in that 60s, stoomy. I mean, even just playing... That's just a Soldano. Wicked. I'm
just going to shout it out because this is like, that cab is so good.
That's wicked.
We've only had that cab in the room for about 6 weeks or so, and it's just like everything that I put through it, I was sort of expected 80s Marshall tones to sound great through that because you've got, that's your whole vintage 30 heritage. But it sounds great with clean, it sounds monstrous with doom. The bass end is mental.
I know.
Anyway, if you're interested, that is a closed back Victory 2x12 made out of pine, Scandinavian pine, Baltic pine.
Well, it sounds good.
It does sound good, doesn't it? Holy mother of moly, that sounds good. Can we just do the... Awesome. I'm sort of excited as well about the volume test as well, because almost anything sounds great if you turn it up.
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
it?
true.
So, but like, what does it do down here?
More high and fire riffs.
Really good.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
I love these two so much. This has been awesome.
What was the one that had mental amounts of bass end as well? Was it that one?
That was that one.
Yeah.
That's the rumbling.
That was cool as well.
Yeah.
I think I liked the vibe of this as well, where it was just actually it had a purpose. Really low down. A lot of these just have no purpose.
Well, this could be your always-on preamp.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could just leave the Sun Model T preamp in and just, when you want some filth, turn it up.
Cool. Okay, so this is old Matt Pike.
Yes.
And this is new Matt Pike.
Well, this is Al Cisneros, who's the bassist in Sleep.
I'm sorry, okay.
But it's quite similar because they both play, this is also a Matt Amp GT120. Mm-hmm. However, there is a parallel blend of a Boss DS1, which has been his thing forever, and a DOD 250. And there's also another switch, which is the Anharta, I don't know. Try and read that.
What is it supposed to be?
I don't know.
Anharta.
There we go. Anharta, and that's a fuzz on top of that. So you have a parallel blend of two distortion pedals going into a Matt Amp GT120, and then you can put fuzz on top of that. So there's 4 things in this one.
Wow.
Which is pretty intense.
Is the switch doing this? No, what's the switch likely doing over here?
Depth, tone, which I think was on the original Matt Amp GT120. So like the dip switches are now just on the front. So rather than it being like a knob that you could twist like you would do back in the day, now it's just a
awesome
tone and whatever.
And you're saying as well, this could be used with a bass, could be used with a guitar.
Yeah, well,
in the band, it's used with a bass.
There's a Rickenbacker on the front, so yeah, that's
a 4-string Rickenbacker.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, look, come on then. Let's put my eardrums through it for another 2 minutes, and then I'll go and lie down in a dark room.
Now we should just hear with the Hareem down. We should just hear the Matt Amp GT120 on its own. Hareem. think that'll do the job. Links below.
It's not even. We've had minimum 5 dB more in videos where Pete's just playing blues dad stuff, and yet we've never produced that much sound.
Yeah.
The bass end on that is just bizarre.
It's very matte ampy,
I'm
that low end.
sweating
Yeah.
just through being in a room with loudness. I do feel like it's either more of a niche pedal, there's more settings to sort of get wrong at the same time as get right.
Yeah.
I wonder if it is probably a good example of, like, yes, you can use it for guitar, but it's probably more aimed at a bass. I don't know. I mean, look, I think this has been a fantastic little
experiment as well with the Victory.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I think these two, as you rightly say, are the standout ones. And I think what's nice about these is anybody who's interested in Doom, regardless of where they are on their guitar playing journey, I think you could put these into a relatively affordable small amplifier and get
good tone out of it.
A good tone out of it.
Well, I think if you're a fan of any of these bands just specifically, you could go, okay, well, I'm a massive Sun fan. Well, there you go. I'm a Sabbath fan. There you go. I want to be Matt Pike. I want to be Al Cincinnaros. I want to be Jimmy Better. I want to be Slavatics. I want to be Electric Wizard. There it is. There's the tone in the box. Cool.
What he just said.
There you go.
Anyway, there you are. Thank you so much, Mr. Oz. That was fun.
I'm really sorry.
Don't apologise. So I'll send my medical bill in the post. Right. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Toodle pip.
Bye-bye.